Welcome to the end of the ride. I wouldn't rather share this moment with anyone else. We open to find Velma's mother is being sent to death row for the murder of the children. The terrible lesbian cops tell Velma there is only one way she can possibly see her mother, and it's if she gets arrested as well. So Velma goes and asks Fred to say Velma annoyed him to get her arrested, because the police always favour rich white men. Aha! By the way, this works. I love this show. We cut to Daphne trying to find Velma at school and asking Fake Shaggy where she is. Fake Shaggy responds with, "I don't give a shit," because, once again, they aren't friends anymore. Also, that's the first bad word this show has Norville say. So, scary. Character development. Not really. This whole curveball was kind of thrown out of nowhere. Yes, in the last episode, Velma accused Shaggy's dad of being the serial killer, but let's be honest, Velma has done way worse to Fake Shaggy in this series. Another thing that hasn't gotten better during this entire series is the fact Mindy Kaling's voice acting is still fucking atrocious, and anytime something remotely interesting happens, it's undercut by a bad joke. Seriously, every fucking line has a poorly written joke to the point where Marvel has its work cut out for it. Turns out Velma's mother is hypnotized. Every time she tries to give the real answer, she keeps repeating the same thing. And this links back to that military dude who was a part of the Project Scooby. Who was good at hypnotizing. At the same time, Daphne is left a note by her parents. Well, the one parent, that is, explaining how she escaped the serial killer and that she'd stolen a pocket watch type thing from the serial killer's neck. And this could be linked to the murders. Again, a shit joke is tied to the end of this scene, but it has to be a comedy, or at least attempt to be. From there, Daphne comes around and presents Velma the clock. They get close to kissing, but that ends in a perfume umbrella. This is like the 8th time they have baited a les kiss, with it only happening once so far in this entire series. Daphne goes off to help Fred with her newfound job at his parents' company. Yes, there's plot C's and plot B's and plot A's in the final fucking episode. Then we cut to another shower scene, as if the first one wasn't enough. We were presented with a bit more blurring this time, thanks to the mist being present, but that won't change the fact that I'll somehow get double demonetized if I show anything on this screen right now. And this scene has no right to be here. The first one had some sort of excusable purpose, such as the entire joke for that scene involved the nudity, but this time they start discussing completely irrelevant shit. This time with Velma herself being naked, so suck that to anyone who said, "Oh, but Velma is the only 15-year-old, and she's not naked." Also, I don't care about the age of consent in fucking Germany. Pornography is always 18 plus. Stop acting like this is normal, please. They continue to have a completely irrelevant conversation about Velma's mother, and who would recognize the watch. All whilst these children are fucking naked on the screen, with the only thing referencing this nudity at all being the ending joke.
To save my mom.
And where did her phone come from? We're naked!
That was so funny. What the actual fuck, man? This nudity was completely uncalled for. This time, it wasn't even an attempt to humor with it. I'm convinced with the amount of nudity in this show that there is a fucking problem with Mindy Kaling, and that she genuinely likes the thought of naked high school kids. Oh, and during this sequence, they tell us Fake Shaggy moved to a new school to avoid Velma. Gee, I hope this C-plot gets touched on and concluded by the end of this finale, otherwise it would leave an empty and unsatisfied feeling in my mouth. And yes, most of the time this happens in video essays, this is foreshadowing, but me calling it out automatically makes it non-stereotypical and funny when I do it, so yeah. That was foreshadowing, by the way, and it was also a subtle call-out to the show's writing. Velma goes home and listens to all of Fake Shaggy's voicemails that she left on read for the entire time of this series, crying, and eventually falling in love with him. Bad timing, dipshit. You treated him like utter shit this entire time, you gaslighting, manipulative, racist, sexist piece of shit. Anyway, during this crying session, she finds the logo of Fred's parents' company on her glasses. She now thinks that's a clue to who hypnotized her mother. She then looks at the pocket watch and finds the same symbol, convincing herself even more of this newfound theory. She sneaks into Fred's house to go down the well, which she found out was the actual secret entrance to this lab. She's about to get to the actual core of this story, but before that, she wants to wrap up C-Plot by sending fake Shaggy one more heartfelt message apologizing, just in case she dies. She then falls into the well, reaching the bottom, and right after that heartfelt moment, cracking a joke about Thai food. Yes. She's not speaking to anyone here. She's literally telling these jokes to herself at this point, and it's just sad. She drops her glasses and says some funny nostalgia lines. But who cares? She found the evil lair, and the killer turns around to see no one. The killer walks out the door in search of whoever was there. Then Velma sneaks in. Right in this moment of intensity, whilst Velma is trying to break Daphne out of her restraints, Daphne says,
"Wait, do you think seeing us fool around will give the serial killer a heart attack? Worth a shot."
Great. Undercut any good tension that scene had. Fuck's sake. Velma beats the serial killer and ties her up, going on the typical spiel of how she found out who it was that every Scooby-Doo franchise has. Cool callback. She pulls off the mask to reveal Fred's mother, who did it because she is the son of the army dude who hypnotizes people from Project Scooby. And literally out of anyone in this story they could have chose, this was the most boring. At least it wasn't who anyone would have expected. To be fair though, that was because there was literally zero hint to it being the mother, considering she had like 5 minutes of total screen time. But okay, most of it being in this episode. Oh well. Fred's dad, who is hypnotized, comes to free the mother by knocking out the kids. Velma wakes to Fred's mother about to cut her brain out to put it in Fred because she wants Fred to have the brains to run the business. Ignoring the fact that this would kill Fred, she appeals to the racist and sexist side of Velma by saying she would love this because she saw rich white men as having so much privilege, and now she could have that privilege. Velma agrees, which she knew would piss off Fred. Fred, in his temper tantrum being a baby, breaks free of the restraints. He now fights his dad, getting a hold of the gun and knocking him out. His mother gets away by lighting the floor with a candle. Yes, this floor is concrete, but who cares? Fred shoots Velma's restraints and frees her, only for Fred to be tricked by his mother into giving her the gun. The two girls are trying to escape the hole when Fred's mother shoots the rope and tries to shoot the girls, but Norville comes down the rope and blocks the bullet with his sword after he heard Velma's voicemail. Also, right before this happened, Daphne and Velma were gonna kiss again, but Velma says "I love you Norville" instead of "I love you Daphne," and this makes Daphne flip out, understandably. But yes, Norville came back to be a Deus Ex Machina, and that's it. A big cave spike crashes down because of the loud noise, and kills Fred's mother, covering everyone in blood. The story ends with them receiving keys to the city and arguing, Velma getting some quality time with her mother, real Shaggy recommending weed to fake Shaggy to solve his stress issues, Fred laying roses across his mother's grave, and Daphne getting a weird note leading to season 2. And finally, the police officer saying Velma is smart, almost as smart as a man, as we cut to the credits. What an amazing display of terribleness. This show single-handedly united both political aisles in the opinion that it was shit. This will forever be a stain on Mindy Kaling's resume, proving she's an incompetent writer, especially to give beloved franchises to. Oh well, next week it will be announced she's directing the next Avengers film. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Just kidding, the police officer gets murdered in the final credits. Great. Can't wait for season 2. Goodbye.